The next option we are going to see about is called upstream jobs and downstream jobs. Okay, so if you see this in this job, we have all the things running as a individual job, right? So the same job is pulling the repo, the same job is building it, and the same job is transferring the file to the target server. Okay, so this is a small job, it's fine. Okay, like it is going to run within a second, so I don't have any issues. Imagine you have a complete job which is doing the automated testing, and the unit testing will take at least 10 to 15 minutes to run. In those scenarios, if something failed, I have no other options than running them in a rerunning the job from the beginning. Okay, let's say I just want to uh, rerun the job. I just want to rerun the deployment step because I don't want it to run from a particular stage or something like that. Is there a way I can configure it? I can split this job and run it as a multiple thing, and then I can define the upstream and downstream for this. Okay, so let's see how do I do that. Okay, so in this job, I am going to define this as a multiple. I'm going to divide this job into multiple components. One will be pulling the source code. The other job will be executing the Maven and then build that. Okay. And the third job will be pushing the jar file to the remote. Okay. Let's see how do I do that. Okay. So let's do one by one. Let me create a new job and let me call it as first app pull. Okay, so I'm creating a first app pull, and then let me see, it should have the git repository, and there let me give the git URL, and the credential should be git it should use the master branch. Okay, and that's it. This job will just pull the source code. Okay, and let me save this. So there I'm going to configure it to pull only the source code, nothing else. The next job I'm going to do is, I call it as a first app build. Okay. So this is also a freestyle project, and there I'm going to do a couple of things. One is use custom workspace. That means because the code has been pulled into the workspace of, what is the job? First app pull, right? So this is where my code is there. Okay, so this I have not yet created. So when it is running, it will be created. So I wanted to use this jobs workspace as the current job workspace so that I will have the source code there. So I'm going to give it there. So it will be /var lib Jenkins. So I'm doing this in the advanced section. In the advanced, you will see here, use custom workspace, var lib Jenkins workspace. So this will be the lib Jenkins workspace. Inside that, there will be a new job will be created. We'll use that. So it will be first app pull. So I wanted to use this directory as a workspace. Let me use JDK 1.8. And next, I'm going to say build after other project is built. So this is where I'm going to define an upstream, and the project to watch is, if you start typing things, it will automatically going to populate the list of jobs which are available. So in the drop down, choose the first app pull and remove the, so it will list all the jobs which are available in the Jenkins. There, I'm going to select the first app pull and trigger only if the build is stable. That means it will be this job will be triggered only when the build is stable. And in the build, let's add the Maven, the same thing, Maven 3. And the goal is, I'm going to use the same option, whatever we have given. Clean package. And then inside the API gateway folder. Okay. And then let's add the post build action. Let's configure this SSH publisher in the next one, but I will just use the archive option. So archive the artifact. Let me use the same thing and publish JUnit test result. Let me do the same thing. So let me repeat the steps. Creating a new job called first app build. JDK, I'm selecting JDK 1.8, and in the advanced, I'm saying use custom workspace, and it should use the workspace of the first app pull, the previous job which I created, and build after other projects are built. So this is where I'm defining my upstream. So basically when the first app pull is completed, I want this job to be triggered. And next is I'm adding a build step using Maven, the same option. And in the post build action, I'm archiving the file, and also I'm publishing the JUnit result. So we have created 2 jobs. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a job which will push the source code to the target mission. So let's do that. So let me call it as first app publish, and here also I'm going to use the same workspace, use custom workspace. Sorry, it should be same as my first app publish, sorry, first app build. Let me change the custom workspace. And here, I'm not going to define the link like trigger build after other projects. I'm going to use a different option to explain the downstream. I can also do this way, but we'll see one more option, how to define the downstream. So in the build step, let me send the file over SSH. It should be target. And in the source file, let us configure the same thing, which is in the first app. And the source file should be this. And the remote directory, let me configure this as Java artifact. Okay, that's it. There is no post build action here. So I'm creating a publish app. I'm changing the workspace of the app to the first app pull. And then in the send file or execute command over SSH, I'm selecting the target server, and I'm saying it should use the API target star.jar and it should put it to the Java artifact directory. So I told you in the mission, for every job, there will be a workspace created. This is where the files will be downloaded. Okay. So when I run this job, there are 3 jobs available, right? Here. No. First up, pull, build and publish. The code will be downloaded only on the pull. For the build, I want the source code to be available on its workspace, right? Because if I give the default option, it will create one more folder here called first app build, and this will not have the source code. So I'm saying use the workspace of first app pull for these two, because this is where the source code is going to be there. When I run the maven command there, it is going to create the target folder there, and it is going to create the jar file there. Let me save the first app publish. So let me repeat, custom workspace, and added this. Now I need to map the first app build and first app publish, because first app pull and first app build, I have mapped them using the execute after this is done. Okay. So for the publish, and we will use a different method. So in the post build action, you will have an option called, I'm going back to the build job. There you will have an option called build other projects, right? This way also you can do it. So let me add this. There I'm going to say call the publish job. So this is the publish job. And let me save this. So let me repeat. I'm selecting the build job, and there in the post build action, I'm adding build other project. There I'm calling the publish job. So I have divided this job into 3, that is pull, build and publish. And all the 3 jobs are using the common workspace. So let me just run the pull job from the dashboard itself. Let's see what is happening. I'm not going to the particular build. I'm just going to refresh. So you can see that the first up pull has completed, and it has triggered the first up build. And it has triggered the publish also. You can see, I can go to every job. In the first up pull, there is a build has been created. You can see it is creating a downstream job of first up build. And if I go to the build job, I can see it as an upstream project and a downstream project. A build number 1 was done. And if I see the publish job, there is upstream project and the build has completed. And if I go to my directory, so if I see here, -L Java artifact, you see that with today's date and time, the file has been published. So 2:17 is the time. So you can see this run at as 2:17 p.m. So this is how you can divide jobs into multiple small jobs and you can run it. So by running one job, all the 3 jobs in the pipeline has been triggered. But when I see the dashboard, I don't see the relationship, right? Like I never know until unless I go and check this first app pull, then only I will get to know it as a downstream. Okay. Is there a way I can show the relationship between the jobs. That is where there is a plugin available. So the plugin is called Build Pipeline. Okay, so this is the pipeline. So there is a plugin available called Build Pipeline. So when I install it, I'll be able to create a pipeline view of the job. Okay. So this will be the pipeline it will be looking like. So let's see that. So let us install the plugin first. Manage Jenkins, manage plugin, and go to the available and search for build pipeline. And if you install it, it will have some of the dependencies. Let it install all the dependencies and then let it restart the Jenkins. It has completed. It is restarting the Jenkins. Let's wait for it to come back. So we can create a view which will show about my flow. Either you can create it from the new view option, okay, or otherwise you can use this plus icon here. The dashboard, you see a plus icon, right? There also you can create it. Let me create that. And the view name, I'm going to call it as a first tab. Let me call it as first tab. And the option is build pipeline view. Okay. So let's select that. And there I can write a small description about this. Okay. And then I can give a title. So let me call it as Java first app. And the layout should be based on upstream and downstream relationship. The first job in my sequence is called pull, first app pull. Okay. Okay. And then the next option is number of displayed bills. So this is just to show you how many number of bills it can show. We can keep it up to 3. And in the row header, I can put all build variables and parameters. And in the column header, I can just put just the build name and number and how frequently it should refresh, 3 seconds. And the console output will be light box. That means there will be a pop-up box which will come. In that I will see the console output link. Okay. So let's save this. Let me repeat. The name is first app. And I'm naming it as build pipeline view. Title is Java first app. And the first job I'm selecting it first app pull. And number of build is 3. And the row header is all build variables and parameters. And the column header is build name and numbers. Okay. So let me click OK. So you will be able to see a view like this. So if you go to dashboard, you can see there is a new view called first app is created. When you click on that, you will see a thing like that. And there you can see the console output there itself of every job. So this option is called the light box. So for every job, I can see it. What is the console output? And if I want to run this, okay, I can click on the run. It will generate a new option. You can see the second build is created and build job is running. I will be able to see that. So it is completed. Now the third build also will come. I think it is going to refresh every three seconds. is completed. And if I want to see the history of this when it has run, you can see that. Okay. And at the same time, if you want to change the pipeline view, by clicking on the configure, you will be able to see that. Or if you want to add a step, this will create a new job and add it to that. Or if you want to create the delete the view, you can do it. And manage will take you to the management of Jenkins. Okay, so this is the pipeline view. Let's say I just want to rerun from this stage. There is an option, a small arrow mark kind of option, right? I can click on that and it will create a new run for it. So you should see the build should have created a let's say yeah, then I haven't clicked it properly. You can see it is running now. The third build number might have created for the build job. Yes. It was succeeded. Yeah. You can see in the flow, third build number has been created for first up build and first up build and publish jobs. So this is how you can create a visible pipeline using the views. Okay. So this is the use of views. You can create custom views. So you can also create a list view and my view. Okay. In the list view, you can just filter jobs based on the job name. Okay. So those kind of things you can create. And once you create a view, that view can be associated with the user. So if you see that for the admin user, what was the view? If you want to change that, I can just select it also. For the admin user, if the view has to be changed, the default view, that means once he logged in, what should be the page he should be taken, I can just change that default view. Okay, so I'll be able to change that. So this is the use of a build pipeline plugin and how you can create relationship between jobs and you can create a pipeline.